Welcome back. Hey, Technical Brad here. All right, so today's little project we're going to sharpen the blades on our 1970 rotary mower. Yeah, that's right, a 1970. Dad purchased this rotary mower new back in 1970. He paid a whopping $309.50, which was a lot of money back in 1970. Still is today, I guess. But that equates to about $5.75 a year for the past 24 years. It's been a really good mower. He got it at Tractor Supply, and like I say, he paid $309 for it, and it has been a trooper for all these years. Never really had much trouble at all with it. And so we're going to flip it over, and we're going to sharpen the blades, show you how we sharpen the blades. It's got two blades on it. It is the number is 21-3066, and I guess they consider a windrowing rotary shredder. We always call it the rotary mower, but regardless. And I've already used it. We've got maybe 5 acres or so back there of grassland that we don't really do anything with, so I go back there and mow it 2 or 3 times a year with the old rotary mower. And as you can see, it's got a few hours on it, and it should have, being 24 years old. Like I said, we've never had any trouble with it. He got it at Tractor Supply. I believe the brand was Husky, but I would not swear to that. But we have used this for many years, and back in the day when we had cattle, we had a lot of pasture that we mowed with it. Used it 3-4 times a year to mow the pastures and things, so it was a lot of acreage that this thing was pulled across via Brownie, of course. And it's been a real good mower. The only problem we really had with it was the rear wheel would break off of it. Generally it would break down in here, so you would hit something and it would break off. The shaft comes up here, would snap off of this part of the wheel, the upper part there, and you'd have to weld that up. Can't really see it now because it's all covered in dirt. But we had it out, we mowed our acreage with it. I used the leaf blower and blew it all off, and so we're getting ready to pull it in here. We're going to take it off, and I'll show you how I upright this thing. I don't take the blades off of it. You can, they are removable, but when I sharpen this, I'm just going to stand it up on its end, so the tire will be up and the mounting area will be down on the ground, and we'll be able to walk up underneath it and sharpen it, and we will show you that when we come back. Okay, so we got this thing set up here. As you saw, what we did is we used old Brownie with the Freeman loader and a log chain. We hooked around the back tire there, and we lifted it up, and now it's sitting on its mount down here, relatively stable. We also still have the chain intact for safety purposes, so it will not fall over on us. And what we're going to do is we are going to sharpen this. What we have here are 2 big old blades. Now these blades are replaceable. They are bolted on, and with a nut back here and a lock tab on there. So you can unbolt these and take these off. I'm going to attempt to sharpen them on here. We will use our angle grinder and get this thing set up and get it all sharpened up. Okay, so we got this set up. As you can see, we have a 2x6 here. That's going to support it as we push down with our grinder. It can't roll. This still has spin to it a little bit, but this 2x6 is going to allow us to push down on this with the grinder, and it not spin on around. As we look at our cutting edge here, it's not bad. Now our blade does have a little bit of a kick up in the back here, as most of them do, and it's got a huge notch out of it right here, of course. I'm not really that concerned with the notch, the chunky taken out of it, because obviously it's not a finish mower, and really it's not I mean, it's not too bad. It's dull, I mean, but it's not really wore too bad on this one. I think the other one's even better, but we'll see when we get to that. But anyway, we're going to take the angle grinder and we're going to grind our edge here, sharpen this up all the way from back here to the end. And to do that, we're using our angle grinder, 4.5-inch angle grinder with a grinding stone on there, grinding wheel. And we will set this back up to where you can watch, and hopefully this will go off yeah, without any issues. Here we go. All right, well, it really sharpened that. Now see, our big chunk here, there's no way we're gonna grind down enough to get rid of that big chunk that's taken out of there. And my guess is we hit a rock. We still got a little bit of a, actually it's just a little bit more down through here. The thing is, you notice I'm moving quite a bit on it. You don't wanna hold the grinder in one spot because it'll heat up the metal too much. And you don't really wanna do that, because I imagine these things are some kind of tempered, if not hardened, but tempered probably anyway. So you keep your grinder moving back and forth. Now it's not flat, it is a wavy surface. So I mean, if we had that off on a bench grinder, we might be able to get that more flat straight across. There again, with it not being, it's a rough cut mower, so I'm really not too worried about that or being out of balance, because these blades weigh a ton and I doubt they're balanced that well anyway, but they might be. So we'll go ahead and take a little bit more off of this. Now as we see here, we've got a much sharper edge right along there, which is really nice, actually cutting into the pencil. Just like that. So that's pretty sharp. I will leave it sharp like that. I'm not worried about it wearing down a bit, which it may, but there again, it's a rough cut machine. So we'll roll this thing over and get ready to do the other blade. Roll this thing over, hopefully without killing ourselves. Dang it. Okay, so what we're going to need. It's all about balancing this thing out. Which is not the easiest thing to do. like so. So we're getting a little bit better there. Kind of hard to see, really, isn't it? I don't know if I can't get you any closer, really, to see what I'm doing. Let's see. All right, well, we'll bring you in a little closer and see if this turns out. There's a hot one out here today. All right, look up. So here's our edge that we've ground down. What I'm looking for is this right through here. Now that is real shiny where it's blunt and more off. Now it's not, that edge is not there, and as we drag our pencil across there, of course it's cutting into it. So it's not razor sharp, which you don't want that, but it is considerably sharper. And this end here was a little rough. I spent a little more time on it. It's almost like it's bent on the bottom here. I could almost take and back grind this down a little bit, maybe on this side. It feels like right there it had been hit at one point, and that's like mushroomed out because this area here is wider than this area here. Not real bad though. So like I say, this isn't a finish mower. This is for going into the tall weeds, grasses, and even trees sometimes and mowing them down. So I think it's pretty good. Even up in here, we can see where this part of the bar's got the snot beat out of it too. So yeah, that's basically it. We're gonna set up, and really what you want is you want one surface. Now this is probably rounded a little bit. I bet we're a little high here in the middle than we are on both ends, and you try to keep that grinder as you're going by it. You want to keep it at the proper angle so that you're not rolling it back and forth, because you don't want to round off this edge. You want it to be as straight as you can keep it. There again, we're not finished cutting with it, but you know, if you're rolling it back and forth, then you're not going to get a very good edge on this. It's going to be too high in the middle, and it's going to mess with the way it cuts and furthermore. So okay, we are going to go ahead and clean this up and then set the thing back down.